Hello and welcome to a Teachable Moment here at St. Michael's Episcopal Church in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm coming to you today from the Beckwith Chapel downstairs just below the main sanctuary. As we enter this new year and now this season of Epiphany, our focus turns in the Adult Forum to a new series on the Prodigal Son, focused on this book, The Return of the Prodigal Son, by the late Catholic priest and theologian, Henri Nouwen. Let us begin with the parable from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15. Jesus said, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me.' So he divided his property between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant country. And there he squandered his property in dissolute living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine took place throughout the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. He would gladly have filled himself with the pods that the pigs were eating, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, 'How many of my father's hired hands have bread enough to spare? But here I am dying of hunger. I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of your hired hands.' So he set off and went to his father. But while he was still far off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. And then the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his slaves, 'Quickly, bring out a robe, the best one, and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. And get the fatted calf and kill it. And let us drink and eat and celebrate. For the son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' And they began to celebrate. Now the elder son was in the field, and when he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the slaves and asked what was going on. And he replied, 'Your brother is come, and your father has killed the fatted calf, because he has got him back safe and sound.' And then he became angry, and he refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him. But he answered his father, 'Listen, for all these years I have been working like a slave for you, and I have never disobeyed your command, yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came back, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him.' Then the father said to him, 'Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has now been found.'" So the question is, who are we? Are we a participant in the story, or are we a bystander, observer, watching? You see, Henri Nouwen was mesmerized by this painting of Rembrandt's of the Prodigal Son. And he discovered it in a unique way. He went to visit a friend one day. He was very tired. He's worn out, traveling the world, highly sought after in the church, Catholic and Protestant church across the world. He had been teaching classes at Harvard University. And he was talking to a friend, and he noticed that there was a poster on the wall, and it was a picture of this painting. And he was mesmerized by the way that the father was taking in and embracing with great compassion the younger son. And it moved him. And it started a 2-year mission for him to sit in front of that painting. And he finally got there one day with the help of a friend. And he was able to sit across from the painting as many tourists came in by it in the Hermitage. At the time, it was in the Soviet Union. And the Soviet guard standing by that painting. And he took in every angle, morning to afternoon, every angle of the light as it hit the various characters in the parable, revealing new things to him, revealing the hands of the Father, revealing the posture of the Son kneeling and begging for mercy, revealing the envy and jealousy of the elder son. And it also revealed the bystanders who seemed somewhat oblivious to what was going on. So as we take a closer look at this parable, and specifically in light of this painting, the hope is that it will reveal new things to us about our own selves. And I think the thing that's interesting to note about Nouwen is that he came to a conclusion that he longed to be like that younger son who was kneeling at the feet of the Father, who was begging for mercy, for forgiveness, and the Father was taking him back in with great compassion. That we all long to be there, but there are things that get in the way of that. And that it is a lifelong journey of faith in order to arrive at that place where we too can fall down on our knees in front of the Father and know that we are fully there, that there's nothing keeping us from it. Nouwen referred to it as that place in his heart where he knew, I am God's home. As he said, kneel before the Father, put your ear against his chest, and listen without interruption to the heartbeat of God. So who are we? Are you the elder son, filled with envy and jealousy and rage? Are you the younger son? What in the world have you done to yourself? Do you recognize the harm and disrespect you have brought upon your father, upon your family? Or are you the bystander who seems oblivious to what is happening around you in this scene? Perhaps you are the father, filled with compassion, open arms, welcoming your son back home.